Hey guys, this is George with Cox's Harley-Davidson at Rock Hill, and I want to go over some details and why I really love the Sportster S. So, let's go. Now, one thing I like about the Sportster S is the bobtail right here and the high pipes. This combination here reminds me of flat track bikes, hooligan bikes, and rat bikes, the kind of bikes that I really like. It's a little kind of a neo retro look, you know, kind of like the new design of the Mustang, harkening back to the old days. Moving forward, we've got the 1250 Revolution Max engine. Now, this is the same engine that's in the Pan America, which is a proven rugged engine. This one is tuned more for street use, and out of the crate it's got 122 horses and 94 foot-pounds of torque, and that is a lot of firepower for this little cruiser. And we can see it's getting that power thanks to the liquid cooled engine, and this is a fully liquid cooled. It's not taking advantage of the hybrid system that Harley normally uses, which is oil cooled and air cooled. This is all liquid cooled. We've got the new style headlights, which is the what people are calling the Tic Tac headlight shape, and this was coming out first on the Fat Bob, and it fits this bike, I think, really well. It looks cool. We've got the big front fat tire, so it gives that bike that bulldog stance, kind of like the Sportster 48 did. And it really gives the bike a good solid feeling on the ground. If you're in the curve, it feels very stable. It does require a little extra effort to counter steer to put the bike into the curve, but once it's there, it's solid. Classic belt drive, unlike the Pan America, which is chain. This is a belt drive just like all the Harleys. Here we have a rear suspension adjustment, which is nice, and we put the dongle for the battery tender on here, so you can keep the bike charged up when you're not riding it. That's a good thing. The seat's really flat, but it's not bad for its purpose. Fuel tank is in the normal configuration, and it locks with the security system. And since the key's here, we can open it, but if you take the key fob away from the bike, that's going to lock up. We've got heated grips, cruise control, your high beams over here like this, and you've got a European style turn signals, which is all over here, not the normal Harley, one on each side. We've got the Cafe Racer rear view mirrors, which I think look great on this bike, and overall it gives it a real nice low profile aggressive stance. And the other thing I like about it is that there's nothing in front of you when you're on this bike and riding, and you're in the riding position. It's just you and the ride. The bike disappears, and for me, when the bike evaporates out of your consciousness, it is a beautiful ride. That's the hallmark of a good bike for me. Now let's get into the electronics. We're gonna flip this on. Okay, little computer's booting up here, and there's the dash. We've got sport mode. This button right here is going to change the modes from sport to rain mode and road mode. Road's where you're going to be 90% of the time, and you're going to be cruising here. Everything's at the mid-range settings as far as throttle response, your traction control system, your ABS system. Going to sport mode, those systems are on low, so they are gonna let the bike play a little bit. You're gonna have a little fun with that. You've got the quickest throttle response. Your ABS is at a lower setting. Your traction control is at a lower setting. That's gonna let you, do some things that you normally don't do on a bike. And then raid mode, those safety systems, that intervention is on high alert, ready to take over to keep you shiny side up, and that's important on a bad day. So if the weather's gnarly, or if it's cold in the morning, your tires are cold, the road's cold, maybe there's a little frost, put it in rain mode to get going, and you're gonna be good to go. So that is kind of an overview, and we go back into road mode. There we go. And Lovely. So pretty simple, easy to use. It looks high tech. It looks like it's very complicated, but it's not once you get, once you spend a little time with it. Here's your heated grip button, and that's a great thing on those cold mornings. Put that on, you're going to be loving it. Here's your cruise control, just like a car. Set it, forget it, and then your high beam. Flick it forward to lock it on, or keep it down for normal headlights, and then you can blip it to flash to pass. So just like a European bike, which is, that's kind of the configuration that most motorcycles are at. Harley's a little different, and this bike is appealing to people that are not your traditional Harley rider. But if you are a traditional Harley rider, there's one big difference that you're not going to be used to, because if you've been riding Harleys all the time, you can see this red line goes all the way up to 10,000 RPMs. And this bike, the more you give it the RPMs, the more power the bike's delivering you. Harleys typically like to give you all the power it can down in the low RPMs. That's the cruiser thing, that's the touring bike thing. But this is a more aggressive bike, so this is a little bit more like a Ducati Monster. So this is a foot forward Ducati Monster in all those aspects. We're going to turn this back off. We've also got adjustable hand controls here on both sides. You push it forward and you can adjust with this wheel where you want that lever to be set. So if you want it in tight, you want it out a little further, you can set it, and there you go. So that's a real nice feature too. So overall, the Sportster S is a different kind of Harley-Davidson, and it is 100% Harley-Davidson. It is awesome. It just has a different flavor, and that's why a lot of the sales guys and a lot of the customer base, you're not familiar with this kind of machine, so you get it, you crack open the throttle just a little bit, and you're like, I'm not sure if I like this, because you're not using the full throttle. This bike, you buy the whole throttle, use the whole throttle, and this bike performs like nothing else. It is a beast. It is a real fun bike to ride, and it's one of those bikes that you have to get on it. You have to take a test ride to really appreciate what it is. Questions about this bike? Number one, is the high pipes going to burn my leg? No, they're not. Look at this. You've got a lot of heat shielding, double layer heat shielding, so it's not going to burn you. The only time I've ever seen high pipes burn somebody is if they strip the heat shielding off because they want to lighten the bike, and that exposes the actual tailpipe, and you're going to get burned off that. The other time I only saw a guy burn their hand or the leg on it, he was thinking that the bike wasn't getting hot, so he actually grabbed the bike up here where there's no heat shielding to see if his exhaust pipes were hot, and he found out yes they were. Yes, the exhaust pipe get hot. They do not get real hot over here though because of the heat shielding, so you're going to be fine. Other questions can you do something about that and take that off? Well, you can, but then you don't have a license plate, you have to relocate everything, and it's not worth it. You see a lot of bikes with this from the European brands. It's just fine, guys. It's just fine. It's not getting in the way. It gives you a good look on the back of the tire. It's a little bit different, but the difference there is for the purpose. If you wanted to raise this up and put the license plate back under here like a sport bike, I guess you could, but now you might as well be buying a sport bike because now you have that high seat. So this is why it's like this. So you give it low, give it that bobtail look. It's a different thing. Some other questions. What type of fuel does it use? It's a Harley, man. Just use gasoline. Don't put diesel in it. Anything else? If you have any other questions, talk to our sales department. Talk to any of them. They'll be happy to set you up for a test ride, because like I said, you have to take this bike out for a test ride to really appreciate it. And if you do, you're gonna love it. This is an incredible machine, and it's available right here, right now at Cox's Harley-Davidson of Rock Hill. Cheers.